So first we have to go through the sentence. The remainder theorem states that when a polynomial function is a fx is divided by x plus a, the remainder is f bracket negative a, or I can say r bracket negative a is a remainder as well. Another example, if the polynomial for the function px is divided by ax plus b, the remainder is p bracket negative b over a, or I can say r negative b over a as a remainder as well. So now we are going to discuss a specific example. Find the remainder. So meaning that we are going to find a remainder when the polynomial x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x minus 14 is divided by x minus 2. So in here the px will be the function x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x minus 14. And the divisor will be x minus 2. So here we have two methods. So number one, I'm going to use the long division. Okay, so here they mentioned one thing. Okay, here they mentioned one thing. So this is what we call the remainder. We name it as Rx, or we represent it as Rx, remainder. Next, the function. This one we call polynomial because we have x to the power of constant. X to the power of constant. So that is a family for polynomial. Hope you still remember or differentiate the situation between the exponential function and also the polynomial. Divided by x minus 2. So this one we call it divisor. So this is the P, this is the capital D. Capital P, capital D. So in here we got two methods. Number one is long division. Okay, number two is remainder theorem. So our focus is remainder theorem. And then this one is a method, is a tool. Okay, it's just a tool, long division. So continue. To find the remainder. So now I'm going to insert the function x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x minus 14. So the divisor will be x minus 2. So, take note now. Take note now. This one is a px, this one is a dx. Okay, for example, we have 1 over 2. So 1 kena letak dalam, 2 kena letak 2. Okay, 2 kena letak luar. Ini 1 letak dalam. Contoh, kita ada fraction 5 over 3. 5 kena letak sini, 3 kena letak sini. Okay, faham? So sekarang kita nak buat long division. What does it mean by long division? Okay, kita nak simplify sebenarnya. So the usage of long division is to simplify the situation. So continue. So first we are going to cancelling the x cubed. So by multiply x squared. So I will have x cubed minus 2x squared. So keywords, just now I mentioned I want to cancelling the x cubed. So you bayangkan ya, you mau darab apa supaya dapat x cubed. So selepas ini kita boleh minus jadi kosong. Faham? Tengok you nak apa, then cuba darabkan dia supaya dia jadi kosong. So that's why I said cancelling. Yeah. So di sini saya nak dapat x cube. So I multiply the x square with the x. So I have x cube. Next, multiply the x square with the negative 2. So I have negative 2x squared. So I will have 7x squared minus 3x minus 14. So followed by, now my mission is to cancelling the 7x squared. So I'm going to multiply with 7x. So add 7x squared minus 14x. Here we have another product. So tengok betul-betul apa yang saya buat. Okay, so ini ada minus bracket. So simplify, so we have 0 x cubed. And then we have 7x squared. And then yang lain tu semua kita copy. Seterusnya, saya nak dapat 7x squared. So saya darabkan dengan 7x dengan x dapat 7x squared. Then ini darab dengan ini negative 14x. So simplify. So saya dapat 0x squared. Kemudian ini saya dapat 11x. Okay, 11x. Kemudian ini kita continue. Which is 11x minus 14. So finally we're going to cancelling the 11x. So by multiply 11 So 11x minus 22. So now we have our product, which is equals to 8. So in here, the remainder is 8. So I will write my answer, R2 is equals to 8. That is the first method by using the long division. Now I'm going to discuss the second method to find the remainder by using the remainder theorem. So first, let the function or the expression.
Okay, so nampak tak apa yang berlaku? Ini panggil long division. So ini kita panggil remainder, baki. Faham? Baki, remainder. Then ini kita panggil quotient, QX, capital Q, QX. Tulis Ini kita panggil D. Okay, D, divisor. So ini adalah proses long division. Then akhirnya kita dapatlah baki dia. So kenapa saya tulis R2 equals to 8? Because you want to mention to other people. And the remainder when X equals to 2 is equals to 8. Okay? Faham? Boleh Okay. Atau you boleh tulis P2 equals to 8. Pun boleh. Okay? Pun boleh. So teruskan. Sekarang kita nak guna remainder theorem.
As px. So x cubed minus 5 plus 5x squared minus 3x minus 14. So the remainder theorem, we are going to substitute x is equal to 2 into the function. So we will have p2 will be equals to 2 to the power of 3 plus 5 2 to the power of 2 minus 3 multiplied with 2 minus 14. So in here we will have 8 plus 20 minus 6 minus 14. So P2 will be equals to 28 minus 20. So finally, P2 will be equals to 8, or I can say the remainder will be equals to 8. So here are the two methods.
So kalau you dengar saya cakap 28 minus 20. So P2 equals to 28. Ini pun boleh. Okay, ini pun boleh. 28 minus 20. Kejap nanti you tengok remainder theorem dengan long division apa beza dia.
Methods which is helping us to find the remainder when the polynomial is divided by x minus 2. So here
Ini you pun boleh tulis R2 is equals to 8. Masa yang sama you pun boleh tulis P2 is equals to 8. Dua-dua sama. So when we mention remainder theorem, okay, when we mention remainder theorem adalah bermaksudnya you ambil nilai x itu x minus 2 kan. You substitute inside, then you dapat baki dia, then that is a remainder theorem. Okay, that is the remainder theorem. So yang long division pun boleh bantu kita dapat remainder theorem. So ada dua kaedah lah. Okay, ada dua kaedah. So dua-dua ni kena tahu, berdasarkan soalan akan bagi arahan nak guna yang mana satu. Okay, so ini adalah example number 1. So sekarang kita akan bergerak ke example yang kedua. Masih sama, fokus saya adalah remainder theorem. Okay, remainder theorem. So you kena tengok soalan lah ya.
So when the polynomial px is divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 16. Question asks us to find the value b. So now I'm going to use the remainder theorem. So first I'm going to state the function.
So tengok cara saya menulis saya punya solution. Cara saya menulis solution.
And then now the divisor is x minus 2. So I'm going to substitute the value, which is x is equal to 1 into the function. So we will have p1 will be equals to, the remainder is 16. So by doing...
Okay, di sini you akan dapat satu markah. Sebab apa? Tengok when the polynomial px is divided by ini, the remainder is 16. Bermaksudnya, you dah faham p1 is equals to 16. Kalau macam ni, you dapat satu markah. From the sentence to mathematical symbol. Settle? Okay. So kalau you tengok sini, find the value b. You ada satu masalah je. So normally you need one equation. If you need find a and b means that two problems. So you need two equation. So automatically lah, simultaneous equation samalah di sini. Iaitu substitution dengan elimination method. Okay. So kita go through very fast.
Doing that, I'm going to substitute the value 1 into the px. So where I will have 6 plus b plus 7 plus 5 equals to 16. So now I'm going to simplify the situation for the left hand side. So I will have b plus 18 is equals to 16. And from here, again, I'm going to simplify. So by rearrange the value, so finally I will have b is equals to negative 2. So from here, we can find the value b is equal to 2. And my advice to you is,
boleh? So inilah cara dia. So tengok saya tak complicated the situation. Kalau boleh bagi dia clean and clear. Okay, bagi situasi sini clean and clear. Jangan terlalu panjang sangat. Dia tak ada markah. Dia ada satu markah saja untuk you try to find the answer. Okay, so jangan buang banyak masa. So di sini ada special sikit. Soalan biasanya tak tulis dan saya selalu galakkan pelajar saya adalah whenever you dapat jawapan you, kalau boleh substitute into the questions. Okay, contoh di sini.
substitute the value b into the dx. So finally, my polynomial will be 6x cubed minus 2x squared plus 7x plus 5.
So ini adalah cadangan saya. Faham? Ini adalah cadangan saya. Walaupun soalan tak minta, tulis dalam bentuk macam ni. Okay? Tulis dalam bentuk macam ni. Faham? So harap catatnya, catat dalam you punya notes tu, ini highlight dia. So kita teruskan lagi dengan example yang seterusnya. Masih sama, remainder theorem. Cuma aras dia saya naikkan. Okay, aras dia saya naikkan supaya you nampak atau you dapat banyak pengalaman sikit.
So the polynomial given that has a remainder of 6 when it is divided by x plus 1. So in here we will have p negative 1 is equals to 6. That is the first information given. And a remainder of 3 over 2 when it is divided by 2x minus 1. So here we will have another information, p 1 over 2 and the remainder is 3 over 2. So the following step, I'm going to substitute the value into the expression given. So in here, substitute the negative 1 into the expression. So we will have 2 plus a minus 1 squared, we will have positive 1, minus b plus 1 and equals to 6 for the right hand side. So in here we will have
take note bila kita dah baca soalan, okay, has a remainder 6. Maksudnya kita dah ada satu information. When x is divided by x plus 1. So p negative 1 equals to 6. Dapat satu markah. Okay, n. The meaning n is full stop. Right? Full stop. A remainder of 3 over 2 when divided by 2x minus 1. Automatic p 1 over 2 equals to 3 over 2. So salah satu ini you dapat satu markah. Salah satulah. Okay. Find the value a and b. Seperti mana saya nyatakan, kalau you ada two problems, means that you need two equation. So one is the blue color, one is the red in color. So tengok macam mana saya tulis. Negative 1 substitute into the p. Betul? So you tengok saya ganti satu persatu dalam sini on the left hand side. Equals to 6 on the right hand side. Tengok cara saya menulis jawapan. Boleh? Ingat, make sure clean and clear. Jangan messy. Okay, jangan messy. Tulisan tu tulis bagi elok sikit supaya tak messy. Okay, teruskan.
4 plus a minus b equals to 6. Simplify the situation and we will have the first equation with a minus b which is equals to 2. So
nampak? Saya nyatakan dengan jelas. Okay, a minus b equals to 2. So ingat, substitution method or elimination method. Kena berlatih lah. Kena pantas bahagian ni. Teruskan.
now we are going to try on the second equation. So substitute the 1 over 2 into the function. So we will have x to the power of 4, okay, by using the calculator, and we will have our answer 11 over 8 minus.
Dengar saya cakap apa? By using the calculator. Maksudnya, using the function calculator, you key in the function, then you press the button calculate, substitute the 1 over 2, then you akan dapat jawapan. Okay, teruskan.
A over 8 plus b over 2 for the left hand side and equals to 3 over 2. Simplify the situation, we will have negative a over 8 plus b over 2 and equals to 1 over 8. Again, I will multiply 8 for both sides. So finally, I will have negative a plus 4b equals to 1, which is my second equation. So by doing the
So nampak saya buat apa? Saya terus simplifykan dia. Maksudnya semua saya darab dengan 8. Faham? Semua saya darab dengan 8. So saya dapat negative A plus 4B equals to 1. So first equation, second equation. So saya nampak ya, ini ada A, ini ada negative A. So my suggestion is make use of the elimination method. Equation 1 plus with the equation 2 or equation 2 plus with the equation 1. Depends on the situation.
The simultaneous equation. So my plan is to add on the equation 1 and 2. So I will have 3b equals to 3 and b is equals to 1. By substituting b equals to 1 into the first or the second equation, so I will have a minus 1 equals to 2. Finally, my a will be equals to 3. So as usual, my suggestion to you all is to substitute the value a and b into the expression given.
So nampak macam mana saya tulis jawapan saya? Nampak? Nampak? Okay. Akhirnya, jangan biarkan jawapan you di sini. Jangan tulis A, B macam ni. Kena substitute into the situation. So kalau boleh lah ya, kalau boleh, macam ni. Bagi lengkap. Faham? Bagi lengkap. Walaupun soalan tak minta, biasakan diri buat macam ni. Biasakan diri buat begini. Take note ya. Okay. Ada lagi example yang seterusnya, masih sama, remainder theorem. Saya akan bagi example yang berbeza. Beza ya. So ini adalah example 4. Masih sama ya, remainder theorem. Boleh? Kita ikut
Expression x cubed minus 5x squared plus bx plus 9. Where b is a constant, give a remainder of 13 when the expression is divided by x minus 4. So in here I would write px equals to x cubed minus 5x squared plus bx plus 9. And by substituting the value,
so you tengok setiap kali jawab soalan polinomial, saya mesti tulis ini. Walaupun dia tak bagi px kan, saya let dia become px, then baru saya start. Okay? Setiap kali, you boleh tengok semula, setiap kali. So harap you biasakan diri dengan keadaan macam ni. Jangan ikut gaya sendiri. Faham? Dia bukan soal betul ke salah. Benda ini adalah penting untuk you amalkan. Seterusnya, bila you jawab passing nanti, you akan nampak satu kesan dia. Okay, you akan nampak satu kesan dia. So, teruskan.
4 and I will have 13 as a remainder. So now first part I'm going to find b. So by substituting the value 4 into the expression, so for the left hand side I will have negative 7 plus 4b which is equals to 13. By rearrange the situation, 4b equals to 20 and finally b which is equals to 5. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to substitute the value into the expression. So px will be equals to x cubed minus 5x squared plus 5x plus 9. So that is our expression. So second part of the question.
Ingat saya kata apa? Bila dah dapat jawapan, jangan lupa tulis benda ini. Okay? So example macam ni, you dah biasa dah. Tadi pernah jumpa dah. Sekarang saya tambah lagi elemen dia. Iaitu, find the remainder R when the same expression, maksudnya PXU, is divided by X minus 3. Kita tengok macam mana nak jawab soalan begini.
The question asks us to find the remainder, okay, denoted as R, when the same expression, which is Px, is divided by X minus 3. So here I'm going to substitute the value X is equal to 3 into the expression. So P3 will be equals to, by using calculator to calculate the situation, and we will have 6. So what is the remainder? The remainder will be equals to 6.
Okay, so nampak macam mana saya tulis? Saya tulis ini, kemudian saya tulis X equals to 3, and then saya substitute, then saya key in calculator. Okay, then saya guna function calculate. Terus keluar jawapan 6. So boleh tulis P3 equals to 6. This is what we call remainder theorem lah ya. Remainder theorem. Saya boleh nyatakan dengan jelas iaitu soalan nak cari remainder. So saya tulis R3 is equals to 6. Okay, salah satu pun tiada masalah. Boleh terima. Teruskan. Masih remainder theorem. Okay, masih remainder theorem. So example yang kelima.
The remainder when the expression is divided by X plus 1. So now I'm going to write P negative 1.
Okay, so kenapa P negative 1? The remainder. Ingat tadi? The remainder. So kita boleh tulis R2 atau R negative 1. Masa yang sama, kita pun boleh tulis P negative 1. Both is the same. Berdasarkan soalan 4 tadi, nampak tak? Kita boleh pilih P2 atau R2. So it represent the remainder. So P negative 1 is the remainder lah. When this thing is divided by X plus 1. Okay? Is in mathematics equal.
So this is also we call the remainder is half the remainder.
Dengar? Is equal. Half. Tulis half. Half the remainder. So again, you boleh tulis R, you boleh tulis P. Okay not?
Remainder when the same expression is divided by x minus 3. So which is going to P3. So now we are going to create the equation by substituting the value negative.
Okay, so you dah nampak tak satu equation. Kenapa satu equation? Sebab you hanya ada satu masalah saja, which is value B. Boleh? So sekarang kena faham bahasa dia. P bracket negative 1. So meaning that we are going to substitute the negative 1 into the X. Okay, into the X, we call it the expression. Teruskan.
1 into the expression given. So for the left hand side, after I substitute the value, I will have negative 1, negative 2, negative b plus 5, which is the left hand side. Now we are going to move on to the right hand side. Substitute the 3, I will have 27 minus 18 plus 3b plus 5 for the right hand side. So simplify the situation for the left hand side. So I will have 2 minus b. For the right hand side, I'm going to have 1 over 2 bracket 14 plus 3. By simplifying the situation, I'm going to multiply both sides with 2. So I will have 4 minus 2b, which is equals to 14 plus 3b. So rearrange. So I will have negative 10, which is equals to 5b, and b will be equals to negative 2. So as you
So ingat, bila sampai sini jangan berhenti. Okay, saya sentiasa pesan sebab ramai pelajar dia tak dengar saya cakap apa. You buat sampai sini, satu lagi langkah iaitu you substitute the b into the expression given. Okay, so you boleh namakan dia let px pun boleh, tak ada masalah. So kita teruskan, akhirnya kita dapat benda yang macam ni. Ini adalah permintaan saya. Faham tak? Permintaan saya. Sebab saya buat banyak pasal, saya nampak kepentingan dia kalau you tulis benda ini dalam original expression atau equation. So itu adalah remainder theorem. So saya bincang example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ni, ada lagi satu, 6. Semua adalah benda yang lebih kurang sama. Saya mainkan dengan ayat dia. Faham tak? Mainkan dengan ayat dia supaya you dapat pengalaman. So saya break up tau. Saya ambil satu bahagian saja. Saya tak gabung jadi pasal lagi. Okay? One more example for remainder theorem. Okay? Kalau boleh, letak bintang.
the remainder, which is denoted as Rx, when the polynomial, which we can denote as Px, is divided by x plus 1 and x minus 2. Since the divisor x plus 1, x minus 2 is a quadratic polynomial, then the remainder is of the form of linear, which is ax plus b. So we can express the situation px over the divisor, which is equals to qx as a quotient, plus the remainder over the divisor. So since the divisor is a quadratic polynomial, so our remainder will be a linear form, which is ax plus b. So now I'm going to simplify the situation by multiply both sides with the divisor.
Okay, take note. Tadi saya kata bintang. Kenapa? Okay, kenapa? So when the question mention about the remainder, okay, the remainder, so divided by this one, x plus 2, x minus 2. So in this case, we call it as a quadratic divisor. Quadratic divisor. So contoh yang you dapat sebelum ni, example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everything, the divisor is linear form. Okay, linear form. So ini adalah quadratic form. Tulis quadratic form. So kalau you punya divisor quadratic, you punya remainder mesti linear. Highlight this keyword. Okay, Kalau you punya divisor is a linear, okay, divisor is a linear, your remainder must be a constant. Power 2, this one power 1. Okay, power 2. Automatic, this one is a power 1. If this one is a power 1, automatic this one is a power 0. X to the power of 0. Dia mesti kurang satu unit daripada atas dia. Dia punya atas tu mesti kurang satu unit daripada divisor dia. So baru kita kata proper, okay, proper fraction. Take note. Okay, take note. Kalau quadratic mesti linear, kalau linear mesti constant. Ayat kalau quadratic mesti linear, kalau linear mesti constant. Ayat dia. So take note, ini kita panggil form yang pertama. Okay, form yang pertama. Tadi mula-mula masa kita bincang long division, saya ada mention quotient, divisor, polynomial, remainder. So this is what we call the standard form. Okay, the standard form 1. This one we call it as a standard form 2. Sebenarnya mereka dua ni sama. Okay, dua ini sama. So cuba tengok ini divisor you divisor. So bila kita multiply all the element in here with x plus 1, x minus 2, baki di sebelah kiri hanya px. Ini akan dapat qx, x plus 1, x minus 2. Finally, yang ini kita simplify, kita dapat ax plus b. Take note, standard form 1, standard form 2. 1 and 2 ada dua format. Okay, ada dua format. Teruskan.
So after I multiply both sides with the divisor, so I will have another form of the formula, which is dx equals to qx multiplied with the divisor and the remainder, which is ax plus b. So now by referring to the situation, I'm going to substitute the value into the px, which will be p negative 1. Where did I get the negative 1? It's from the divisor x plus 1 into a q negative 1, negative 1 plus 1, negative 1 minus 2, negative a plus b. So next step, I'm going to substitute the value into the px. So by using the calculator, I'm going to substitute the value. So I will have, for the left hand side, my answer will be equals to 2. So for this part, I'm going to have a 0, multiply with the q and also the other divisor. So in here, I will have 0. Finally, for the right hand side, I'm having negative a plus b as the first equation.
So hopefully take note, faham bahasa ini. P negative 1. So meaning that substitute the negative 1 into this part. Okay, into this part. So tadi saya kata apa? Press the calculator by using the calculator. So you key in the function 4x to the power 4 minus 4x to the power 3 minus 9x squared minus x plus 52. Key in. Understand not? Key in. Then you calculate. Then you press the button negative 1. Pop, keluar jawapan 2. Okay. So di sini, nampak tak? Ini semua dia punya operation adalah multiplication. So, whenever ini becomes 0, automatic semua ini akan jadi 0. So, left behind the negative a plus b. So, di sini kita dapatlah first equation. Take note-nya, nampak macam senang. So, continue. Focus on x minus 2.
Next, I'm going to substitute the value for 2 for the second divisor, x minus 2, and I will have x is equal to 2. So p, 2, which is equals to q, 2, negative 1 will be replaced with 2 plus 1, 2 minus 2, plus 2a plus b. So repeat the process. With the help of the calculator, I will have negative 4 on my left. And for this part, I will having 0. Multiply with q and others, I will obtain 0 as well. So finally, 2a plus b on the right hand side, and this will be my second equation. By doing the simultaneous equation, I'm going to minus 1 minus the second equation. So I will have 2 minus negative 4.
Okay, so lagi satu benda. Jangan complicated the situation. Haraplah you belajar. Jadi tengok yang warna merah tu the first equation, warna biru tu second equation. Cuba belajar. Okay, amalkannya guna ini. Bermaksudnya, bila saya tulis arahan 1 minus 2, first equation minus the second equation. Okay? So imagine B minus with the B, you will obtain 0. Means that you can ignore. This one minus with this one, we will have negative 3a. This one minus with this one, we will have positive 6. Buat dengan kaedah macam ni. Faham? Kena improve. Faham? Kena improve. Saya nak bantu you jimat masa, laju, pantas. Teruskan.
I will have 6 equals to negative a minus with 2a. So I will have negative 3a. So finally my a will be equals to negative 2. Substituting the value a equal to negative 2 into the first equation. So I will have 2 equals to 2 plus b. Finally b will be equals to 0. So now the question asks us to find what is the remainder. So in here, remainder Rx will be equals to Ax plus B, as we mentioned earlier. So by substituting the value A and B, our Rx, or we call the remainder, will be equals to negative 2x.
Nampak? Menjawab soalan. Faham? Menjawab soalan. So soalan ni, take note, letak bintang, special case. Kadang-kadang, dia tidak beri you equation. Pun boleh jawab. Kalau you faham konsep ini. Okay? Kalau you faham konsep ni. So ingat, bila you baca soalan, you rasa macam keliru, complicated, macam tak faham soalan je kan? You ingat example ini. You ingat example ini, dia amat berguna. Okay? Untuk topik ini. So, haraplah ya, saya dah bincang 6 contoh remainder theorem. Okay? So actually what is remainder theorem? Nah, ini dia remainder theorem. When you substitute the negative 1 into the function, that is the remainder theorem. Faham? That is the remainder theorem. Then, the most important thing is, di sini, mesti ada sesuatu. Okay? Mesti ada sesuatu yang baki. Then only we can say it is a remainder theorem. Take note. When you substitute something, itu dah beginning dah. Okay? Remainder theorem. Syarat dia mesti ada sesuatu di sini. That's why we call it remainder theorem. Mesti ada baki. Then baru kita panggil remainder theorem. So sekarang kita akan bergerak ke factor theorem. Okay? Kita akan bergerak ke factor theorem. Sebenarnya factor theorem dengan remainder theorem, dia hampir sama. Tapi dia ada satu syarat saja. Tadi saya dah sebut syarat kan? Di sini pun ada syarat dia. So that is the only thing to differentiate these two, which is the remainder theorem and also the factor theorem. So kita baca ayat .
So when a polynomial px is divided by x minus a, give the remainder 0. So keyword, when you divide by x minus a, if the situation give you a remainder as 0, meaning that x minus a is a factor of px. Conversely, if x minus a is a factor of px, then the remainder will be equals to 0. So here we have two situations. So meaning that if you have the remainder is equals to 0, x minus a will be the factor of px. Second situation, given that if x minus a is a factor for the px, then you will have a remainder which is equals to 0. So now we are going to discuss the...
Okay, so take note ya. What is the difference? Straightforward. Di sini difference dia. If it's a remainder theorem, when you substitute the a, here they will left behind something. Mesti ada baki. Maksudnya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. There must be a something. So itu panggil remainder theorem. For the factor theorem, dia pun sama. Dia ada sesuatu. Tapi wajib mesti 0. So when it is a 0, automatic we call it factor theorem. When it is not equals to 0, then we say it is a remainder theorem. So harap you dapat tangkap ya. The remainder mesti 0, baru kita panggil factor theorem. Kalau remainder dia bukan 0, automatic dia remainder theorem. Benda yang sama. Okay? Kita tengok contoh ya. Tengok contoh. Sama saja. Tengok ayat dia. When they say it's a factor.
Example, if x plus 1 is a factor of the polynomial, determine the value of k. So in this case, they say x plus 1 is a factor. So we will refer to the second case. So meaning that x minus a is a factor, so our remainder will be equals to 0 when we substitute the value of a. So now we are going to use the second case. So meaning that p negative 1, okay, will be equals to 0 because x plus 1 is a factor.
Keyword. Kenapa saya tahu dia 0? Because they mention a factor. Okay, a factor. So, itu keyword pertama lah, factor. So, bila dapat factor, kita pun substitute. Okay, kita pun substitute. So, saya tunjuk contoh kita substitute. Then, belakang dia mesti equals to 0. Finally, we want to find the k. So, saya dapat k saya. Ingat, jangan berhenti di sini saja. Substitute the situation dalam ini. Then, baru kita panggil dia complete. Okay, harap dapat pengalaman. Another example pun masih sama, factor theorem lagi. Just nak tambah pengalaman anda.
Given x minus k is a factor. So when we notice that x minus k is a factor, meaning that the remainder will be equals to 0 when we substitute the value k. So determine the value of k. So for this situation, we are going to use the strategy trial and error. Okay, trial and error. So meaning that we are going to substitute the value, any value, into the function. So for example, p1. So if we substitute p equals to 1, we will have 2 plus 1 minus 13 plus 6. So p1 will be equals to negative. We will have a negative 4. So which is not equals to 0. So meaning that x minus 1 is not a factor. So now we are going to try another value which is equal.
Dengar saya cakap apa? Trial and error. Faham tak? Trial and error. Then saya tak letak kosong. Sebab apa? You guna mata you observe. Kalau saya substitute kosong, saya akan dapat 6. Saya akan dapat 6. So saya tak letak kosong lah. Saya letak 1. Okay. Biasanya kita punya soalan ni, dia 0, negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2 atau 3. Kita punya situasi lebih kurang di sana saja. Bila kita buat trial and error. Okay. So bila buat trial and error, boleh guna function calculator yang key in itu. Teruskan.
Equals to 2. Okay, so when we substitute the value equals to 2, so we will have 2 multiplied with 8 plus 4 multiply and minus with 26 plus 6. So we will have 20 minus 26 plus 6. So finally we will have equals to 0. Meaning that when we substitute the value 2 into the function and our remainder is equals to 0, so from here we can say that x minus 2 is a factor of px.
Take note. Take note Take note. Format ini. Nampak tak saya buat trial and error. So whenever saya substitute, then saya dapat 0 means that 2 is a zeros. Nanti kita akan bincang dengan detail. 2 is a zeros. X minus 2 is a factor. So dengan itu kita boleh compare. Kita boleh tahu lah k is equals to 2.
Given that the polynomial can be divided, so in here they state can be divided, means that
keyword tadi factor, sekarang divided. Faham? Can be divided. Keyword can be divided adalah sama macam factor. Another keyword tambah divisible. Mohon tulis you nampak factor, can be divided, divisible. Tiga-tiga ini adalah sama maksud. Maksudnya, factor, theorem, remainder adalah 0. Take note. Teruskan.
they can divide completely when we are using x plus 1. So find the value a. So meaning that they can fully completely divide, meaning that x plus 1 is a factor. So when x plus 1 is a factor, meaning that the remainder will be equals to 0 if you substitute the value negative 1. So in order to find the a, I'm going to substitute the value negative 1 into the expression. So here we have a minus 3 plus 2 minus 1 minus 8, which is equals to 0. So a minus 1 minus 1 minus 8 equals to 0. A minus 10, which is equals to 0. And finally, a will be equals to 10. So I would like to remind you, do remember to substitute the value into the polynomial. So finally, px will be equals to 10 x to the power 4 plus 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus x minus 8. So here we are, and thanks for watching.
Okay, So saya just nak tambah pengalaman. Okay, iaitu can be divided, divisible, divide completely, atau saya kata factor. Empat itu factor, can be divided, okay, divisible, divide completely. Semua sama maksud, iaitu remainder equals to 0. Okay, so pagi ni kita dah bincang remainder theorem, kita dah bincang factor theorem. One more to go, which is the 0. Okay, which is the 0. So kita tengok example seterusnya.
A zeros of a polynomial px is any value of x for which the polynomial is equals to 0. In other words, a zero of a polynomial is a root of the equation when the px which is equals to 0. So, for example, if x is equal to 2, p2 is equals to 0, therefore 2 is a zero of the px, and 2 is a root of the px when it is equals to 0.
So, tengok ayat sini. Just the technical. Dia kata when x equals to 2, bila you ganti dalam equation, then you punya remainder adalah 0. Automatic, kita boleh kata x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, x minus 2 is a factor. 2 is the 0. Ayat yang lain, x equals to 2 is the root. Technical. Okay, technical. Tak apa, nanti you tengok example, you akan faham apa yang tengah berlaku.
So here are the example. Factorize the polynomial completely. So that is the information that we have. So what we have to do is using the trial error method. So the strategy that we are going to use, the first factor can be obtained by trial and error. In order to find the first factor, we try.
So bila boleh guna trial and error? Bila tidak diberi situasi divisor or factor. Tidak diberi. Okay. Kalau untuk calculator, kita boleh key in x to the power of 3. Straightforward, can get final answer. Right? Tetapi tidak boleh ketika menjawab exam nanti. You mesti boleh, hanya boleh dibenarkan untuk kuadratik saja, untuk tekan calculator. Other than that, mesti kena factorize. Okay? Atau long division. Okay, so di sini kita ada x to the power of 3 kan. So mula-mula nak cuba. Tengok sini saya ada mention x, you punya a, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4. Maksudnya you nak testing kan, nilai-nilai yang you nak testing tu dalam lingkungan sini saja. Okay, dalam lingkungan sini saja. So teruskan.
X is equal to a, where a must be a factor of 4. That is, a could be negative 1 or positive 1, a could be positive 2 or negative 2, or we can say a could be positive 4 or negative 4. Normally, the method of long division will be used to find the other factors. So now, here are the example. So now, the px is given that x cubed plus x squared plus 4x plus 4. We are going to substitute the value p1. We will have 10. So meaning that 1 is not a 0, or we can say x minus 1 is not a factor. We try on with other value, which is equals to 2. So we will have 24. Again, the remainder is not a 0. Then we try on with the value 4. Again, the value is not equals to 0 as well. Next, we are going to try p negative 1. By using the calculator in the calculation, and luckily we get our value equals to 0, and meaning that x plus 1 is a factor of px. So next step, we are going to find other factors by using the long division method. So now we know x plus 1 is a factor.
So saya cakap sekarang kita tahu x plus 1 is a factor. Dari mana? Dari trial and error. Faham? Okay. Selepas itu, you nampak ada perkataan completely long division. Okay? Factorize completely maksudnya long division. So kita pun buat long division lah. Macam mana nak buat long division? Pastikan you simplify atau cancelling atau delete x to the power 3. So sini mesti x square. Okay, sini mesti x square. Teruskan.
So we are going to use the long division to find other factors. So now we begin. X square, we will have x cubed plus x square. And we will have 4x plus 4 as a product. So now we proceed. Plus 4. So that we can get 4x plus 4. So finally, our remainder is equals to 0. So meaning that the px is equals to x.
Okay, so you tengok balik you punya soalan. Ingat, standard form 1 and standard form 2. Kalau masih ingat, standard form 1 adalah px over dx. Standard form 2, kita start dengan px sahaja. So di sini, soalan saya, dia tak cakap px over dx. Faham? So saya perlu tulis jawapan saya dalam standard form yang kedua. Revise balik standard form yang kedua, which is px is equals to qx multiply with the dx plus rx. Itu format dia, standard form yang kedua. Sebab apa saya guna yang kedua bukan guna yang satu? Sebab soalan original dia punya format adalah px sahaja. Dia bukan px over dx. Okay? So dengan itu kita pun tulis jawapan saya macam ni. Double check. Boleh factorize tak? Kalau untuk ini, you tekan calculator, you akan dapat complex root. Maksudnya, that is the best. So, inilah factorize completely. So, haraplah you dapat pengalaman. So, kalau akhir soalan ni, number 10, maksudnya, kita dah habis bincang remainder theorem. Okay, apa tu remainder theorem? Bermaksudnya, you substitute the value, then you will have remainder. That one is a remainder theorem. What is factor theorem? When you substitute a value, then the remainder is 0. Itu factor theorem. Then, apa tu zeros? Zeros just bahasa technical saja. Contoh, x minus 2 is a factor. So, we said the zeros is 2. The root is x equals to 2. Technical. Okay? Benda technical.